Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is lecture number 15 of set theory. Okay, so in the last lecture we did this very good question. Okay, so we from the last lecture we were able to we've covered that the how to represent all the sets in Venn diagrams. Okay, I've taught you like how to represent if it's like A union B complement, how do you represent it in Venn diagram, how to think logically and represent it in Venn diagram. Okay, so in this lecture also we are going to do a few examples. Okay, so let's get started. So yeah, this is the question. This is the Venn diagram. So in the last lecture we covered that how to represent sets into Venn diagram. Now in this question he's asking like which this Venn diagram represents which of the sets. Okay, so you need to draw Venn diagram for each of the set and see which Venn diagram matches this. Okay, so this is a multiple correct option. Okay, this is multiple correct answers. Okay, so yeah, let's move on to the first option, that is a symmetric difference of A and B. You know that symmetric difference of A and B. How is the Venn diagram of symmetric difference of A and B? We all know that the symmetric difference of A and B is represented like this. Okay, so this is option A. We're checking for option A first. This is symmetric difference of A and B, right? Draw a universal set. Two sets A. This is A and B, but you shade symmetric difference of A and B's Venn diagram is like this. Okay, I've taught you in the last lecture, I guess. So as I told you, would be able to understand if you're attending the lectures in a sequence and you're revising it daily. Okay, so this is actually the symmetric difference of A and B Venn diagram. Okay, we can see that this is not matching. These both are not correct. But in the B option B, you see it's symmetric difference of A and B complement. So if it's symmetric difference of A and B complement, then in that case, this A, this B, set A and set B. Complement means just subtracting it from the universal set. So if you complement means is not this. So you have to shade the parts. You have to shade the parts of this Venn diagram which is not shaded in this, and you should not shade the parts of Venn diagram which is shaded in this. Okay. So see, this common region is not shaded. These both are shaded, but we are not going to shade that. So we're going to shade this. I've explained it to you like how do you do all these things. Okay. So this is how we represent symmetric difference of A and B complement. So you can see that these both are matching. So according to that, if you see according to that, then you notice that A delta B complement is representing this Venn diagram. Then the next C option, you see universal set minus A del AM symmetric difference of A and B. This definition is same as the above one. This is actually right. See, if you see A complement means it's actually universal set minus A complement. So this is representing the same thing. So C option and B option both are same. Now in the case of D, option D, A union B complement union A intersection B. So yeah, first draw A union B complement. First let's draw A union B complement. This is A, this is universal set. This is A and B. So if it's like A union B complement means you don't shade set A and B, just shade the universal set. Not universal set, you shade the outer parts of A and B. So this is A union B, A union B complement. Now you take union of this. What about A intersection B? A intersection B is like this, right? what about A intersection B? A intersection B is like this. So this is A union B complement, and this is A intersection B. Okay. So now by taking the union of this, okay, we take the union. You take the union of these both, you get the same Venn diagram as this one. You get the same Venn diagram as resembling to the question. So you take the union of this, then you shade. If you take the union of this, the common parts region also you need to shade, and you shade the outer parts of the sets. That is the same thing. So even from this we get to know that even option D is correct. Okay, so that's why I told this is multiple correct option. So now let's move on to next example. Okay, so moving on to the next example. This next example is super important. Why important? Because you need to apply your mind, you need to think logically. See, if number of elements in set A is equals to 5 and number of elements in set B is equals to 7 and number of elements in A intersection B is equals to 3, then uh, what is n of A? Number of elements in A plus B, number of elements in A minus B, number of elements in B minus A, number of elements in symmetric difference of A and B. So yeah, for solving this question, see, if you're not able to solve this question at your first attempt, see, once I solve this question, then you pause the video and try to solve it again. Okay, by that you will get some confidence. Okay, so yeah, suppose we are supposing that, suppose we take set A as, you need to consider you need to suppose the set A according to number of elements in set A, which means you need to take number of elements in set A should be 5 and number of elements in set B should be 7. Okay, you need to take according to that, and 3 elements should be common within A and B. You need to suppose like that. Okay, so if I suppose set A is equals to 1 comma 2 comma 3 4 comma 5, and what about B? There are 7 elements but only 3 elements are common, so I would like to take 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. So number of elements in set A is 5 and number of elements at B is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Condition satisfied, and 3 elements are in common, so condition satisfied there too. Okay, so now we've supposed, since we supposed A and B, so now let's solve the questions one by one. What is number of elements in A plus B? As you all know, I told you that A plus B is nothing but A union B. By taking A union B, get the answer as 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. So number of elements in set, number of elements in A plus B, that is number of elements in A union B, is equals to 9. Number of elements in A minus B, number of elements in A minus B, how to do, before we'll do A minus B, how to do A minus B, I told you, remove the common parts, common elements of both A and B from A, because you're subtracting B from A. So A minus B, by taking out the common elements, the remaining elements are 1 2. So that is A minus B. So number of elements in A minus B is equals to 2. Number of elements in B minus A, what is the number of elements in B minus A? So B minus A means you need to remove the common elements of both A and B from B. So by removing the common elements, we get the answer as 6 7 8 9. So number of elements are 1 2 3 4. Number of elements are 4. The fourth one, number of elements in symmetric difference of A and B. A symmetric difference of A and B is equals to A minus B union B minus A. Okay, so this is the symmetric difference of A and B. So A minus B union B minus A. We know what is A minus B and we know what is B minus A. By taking the union of these two sets, we get 1 2 6 7 8 and 9. So number of elements are 1 2 3 4 5 6. Number of elements in symmetric difference of A and B are 6. Okay, so now let's move. That's it with this example. Now let's move on to the last example. So this is the last example. Okay, so if number of elements in set A is equals to 7 and number of elements in set B is equals to 5, then maximum value of number of elements in A union B. So see, we don't need to suppose any sets in this question. Okay, we can solve it directly. Maximum value of n of A union B, number of elements in A union B. Okay, so it happens when A and B are disjoint. Okay, it happens when set A and set B both are disjoint, which means there's nothing in common between them. So when A and B are disjoint, so we need to add 7. Then all the sets, all the elements are different, right? So then in that case, by taking the union of A, set A and set B, get the answer as, you see, A union B is nothing but A plus B. So number of elements in set A is 7 and number of elements in set B is equals to 5. So 7 plus 5 is equals to 12. So number of elements in A union B. Why I'm telling 12? Because he asked the maximum value. Why I'm considering disjoint sets? Because he asked the maximum value of number of elements in A union B. So maximum value is 12 when A and B are disjoint. Next question. Minimum value. See, minimum value. He's asking about minimum value of n of A intersection B. Minimum value is 0. Minimum value is 0 when A and B are disjoint. Next, minimum value of number of elements in A union B. Meaning how, say minimum value is 7. See, minimum when B is a subset of A. When B is a subset of A, this means B is a subset of A means all the elements which lie in B also lies in A. So, but then by taking the minimum value of number of elements in A union B, you get 7. Okay, why 7? Because you don't repeat the elements, right? Inside, while writing a set, you should not repeat elements. Okay, so minimum value is 7 when B is a subset of A, and the maximum value of maximum value of A intersection, number of elements in A intersection B is 5. There cannot be more than 5 because you see the total elements in set B is 5 and total elements in set A is 7. If you tell 6, then you are exceeding the value. It can't be 6, you see, because set B, in set B it's actually only 5 elements. Okay, so if the set B are if the number of elements set B is 6, then you write the value of 6. But since the number of elements in set B is 5, the maximum value of number of elements in of A intersection B is equals to 5. This is possible when B is a subset of A. I hope you understood. See, B is a subset of A means all the elements of set B lies on A. Okay, so if you want more clarity, then you could suppose the sets like this and then you could try solving this question. Okay, but while supposing the set, you need to verify this condition too. You need to satisfy this condition also. Like you should not take 9 elements in set A. You should take only 7 elements in set A and 5 elements in set B. Okay, by taking that, you can solve the question. You can check the answers which I matched in this question. Okay, so if you're for first question, you need like A and B are disjoint, and then the third question, B is a subset of A, like that you need to suppose, and then you can solve the question and you can verify the answers. Okay, so that's it for today's lecture. I hope you understood all the concept, all the examples which I taught you today. If you understood, then please do like the video, share it with your friends, and if you have any doubts, then feel free to ask it in the comment section. Okay, so I hope you understood. I hope you like this video. Thank you so much for watching.